We have Representative Poston's bill up next, House File 1318. I'm going to move House File 1318. And Representative Poston, I want to talk about this a little bit. I think what we're going to do for now, we are going to send it to the Public Safety Committee, but we should probably talk a little bit later on some other things too. But for now, we're going to send it to Public Safety, okay? With that, I'm going to move House File 1318 be referred to the Committee on Public Safety. And Representative Poston, to your bill.
Madam Chair, before I go to the bill, this is my first time in front of your committee, so I brought some treats that they're going to hand out.
All those in favor?
So, Madam Chair, House File 1318 is a Veterans Preference and Hiring Bill, and currently the state has veterans preference and hiring in almost every area of state government with the exception of the court system and the legislature. So this is adding those two entities into a practice that already exists. And with me today I have Ben Johnson. He's the Legislative Director of the Minnesota Department of Veterans Affairs, and I'd like him to talk to this just a little bit.
Mr. Johnson, it's been a long time. How are you doing?
I'm well, ma'am. Thank you.
Good. Welcome to the committee.
Thank you. Chair Anderson, members of the committee, my name is Benjamin Johnson. I'm the Legislative Director for the Minnesota Department of Veterans Affairs. An enthusiastic supporter of Mr. Poston's House File 1318. We're excited at the opportunity to expand veterans' preference to the legislature and the courts. I'm going to give you a quick background and then take questions in the interest of your time. Veterans preference in Minnesota has been around since 1887, which is about the same time that the state of Minnesota developed the first veterans home in Minneapolis, a historic veterans home at the Minneapolis campus, which is currently still in use. The legislature stated that honorably discharged Union soldiers and sailors shall be preferred for employment in every public department of the state of Minnesota, counties, towns, cities, and villages thereof. In 1907, they added Civil War veterans employed by the state could only be discharged for incompetency or misconduct after a hearing upon due notice and stated charges. The goal of veterans preference and hiring in this particular case is to help facilitate the transition of veterans from the military to civilian life and help compensate veterans for their sacrifices, including sacrifices to health and time in the community. Veterans preference and hiring grants most veterans limited preference over non-veterans in hiring and promotions, with subsequent breakdowns by disabled veterans, able-bodied veterans, and veteran spouses. Currently, Minnesota provides limited preference for hiring and promotion in state and local government positions, but the legislature to this point has not chosen to include their human resources departments in this practice. We welcome the opportunity to work with the legislature to develop this. We're excited to see an expansion of more opportunities for veterans to work in state government. That is all that I have for comments at this time. I do have our agency's Veterans Preference Officer, Mr. Dennis Devereaux, available if there are any technical questions, but I'm happy to take questions from the members of the committee or chair at this time. Thank you.
Okay. Members, any questions at all? Anyone from the audience that wishes to testify to this bill? Representative Poston, I just have some questions.
Sure.
And I'm not sure if you have some of the answers to this, but would this apply then to any of the appointed positions that the speaker makes, whether it's to citizen like LCCMR or any of those organizations? How does that work for appointments that the speaker is responsible for? Mr. Johnson, I don't know if you know that or who's the best. Representative Poston?
Madam Chair, I do not believe it applies to that, but I would have to check that.
Mr. Gehring, do you know?
Madam Chair and committee members, so I don't, off the top of my head, know the answer. I mean, I see in the bill that it refers to vacant positions. There's not a definition of what a position means, and so it could be read to include just employees of the legislature, or you could also read it to include other positions that are legislatively designated. So I think it's unclear the way the bill is drafted right now.
Okay. All right, Mr. Johnson?
Chair Anderson, members, Mr. Devereaux has indicated that it would not apply to the appointed positions.
Okay. All right, we should maybe talk about this a little bit more at some point. Representative Quam.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I just wanted to commend Representative Poston for bringing fresh materials to the committee. They're much appreciated.
Representative Detmer.
I'm going to swallow this cookie first, Madam Chair.
Got you.
The fresh cookie, yes. Mr. Johns, could you explain maybe to the committee just what is a veteran's preference?
Mr. Johnson?
Chair Anderson, Representative Detmer, if you want the short answer, I can give you that. If you'd like a little bit more in-depth answer, then I
fine.
prefer Mr. Devereaux.
Madam Chair, I think sometimes people don't understand exactly what we mean by veteran's preference, and maybe a short answer might do it for us.
Mr. Johnson?
Chair Anderson, Representative Detmer, what this allows, what the veterans preference statutes allow is that individuals applying for a position with states, local, county, municipalities, other political subdivisions, if you are a recently separated veteran, specifically since 9/11, or a service-connected disabled veteran or a veteran spouse, the breakdown is that once basic minimum qualifications for a position are met, an applicant who chooses may receive credit of 10 extra points. These are veterans preference points for a position, which would put them in better standing against non-veteran applicants. Service-connected disabled veterans may receive 15 extra points. Spouses of deceased or disabled veterans these disabled veterans who cannot qualify because of their disability may also choose to receive extra points. That's in the case of hiring. In the case of discharge, which the 1318 does not apply to, discharge means that veterans preference, a veteran may petition for a hearing through a collective bargaining grievance process or a veterans preference hearing. So if there is a move to discharge a veteran from their public position, they have the option of seeking assistance through the veterans preference process.
Representative Detmer?
Yeah, Madam Chair, and I think people need to understand just because you have a veteran's preference doesn't mean you're going to get the job. It means that, you know, you have some abilities there, some characteristics there that might help you, but doesn't guarantee that you're going to get the job. It's just maybe get your foot in the door as a veteran. And so, yeah, I think that's a good explanation.
Mr. Johnson, how would it work in the case for the legislature? We have the House and the Senate, and we have partisan and nonpartisan positions. How would it work for the legislature in that role? And maybe Mr. Devereaux can come up?
I would seek some assistance, yes.
Yeah, that
Thank you,
sounds
Chair.
great. Thank you. Welcome to the committee. If you can please state your name for the record and who you represent.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. My name is Dennis Devereaux. I'm the Veteran Preference Officer for the Minnesota Department of Veteran Affairs. As to how this might be applied in the case of the legislature and the courts, the wording is very similar to the state system, and that state system is limited to open competitive positions. As far as partisan appointed type positions, they would not necessarily be covered under this new bill.
Okay. All right. I got a couple other questions. Representative Kunesh Podine.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So at this time, the legislature does not have this veterans preference, but is it a state preference or a veterans preference at the state, county, city levels? Do they do most of them also have this sort of system set up?
Mr. Devereaux?
Madam Chair, Representative, currently the state law deals with state agencies and with local units of government, that is city, county, school district, township, et cetera. So each of those governmental units are required to apply veteran preference in their open competitive hiring practices. Currently, the court system and the legislature, as well as the University of Minnesota, the state retirement system, and the Minnesota Historic Society, veteran preference does not apply in those cases.
Representative Kunesh-Podein?
Let's say that there was a reduction in the workforce in the legislature. Would they have sort of a protected status, or as far as being laid off or let go, or how would that work?
Well, if I remember correctly, this only applies to the hiring, correct? Is that right, Mr.
Madam
Devereaux?
Chair, Representative, that is correct. There will be no additional protection under this bill for layoff or termination circumstances.
Representative Kunesh-Podein?
That was it. Thank you very much. Thank you for your information.
Representative Uglum?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a great bill. I'm glad to see it coming before us and everything else. I have a question about the preference for spouses. I think that's a wonderful thing, and I can just imagine how some of the spouses may struggle with a deceased veteran or an injured veteran and things. Just a point of curiosity, how many spouses are able to take advantage of this at the current time?
Mr. Devereaux?
Madam Chair, Representative, there's no reporting requirement from state agencies or local governments, so we don't have exact figures. Anecdotally, I get questions quite often about eligibility for spouses, and I can assume that they are using this and applying veteran preference when they are seeking employment.
Okay.
Representative
Good.
Uglum?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm glad to see that it's a successful program.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Devereaux. Representative Poston, do you have any further comments, or?
No further comments, Madam Chair. I just appreciate your support.
Okay. With that, members, I'm going to renew my motion that House File 1318 be referred to the Committee on Public Safety. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, your bill is on its way. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.